Okay, so welcome everybody. Here we have members from the SpesDojo team from Japan, and they made an app last year called Orapal, which was a finalist. And we have two members of the team here, and I would like them to each introduce themselves. So maybe we'll start with Lily. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, so my name is Lily and I'm 14 years old. I'm Japanese, but I'm living in Malaysia. My hobby is to play volleyball and watch movies. And I really love to challenge myself in making apps. And I'm trying a new software called Flutter. Thank you.
Nice. And Akari, how about you? Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Akari. I'm 15 years old. I'm in the brass band club and I play the saxophone. Thank you.
Now, I'm just curious, Lily, when you worked on the team, were you living in Malaysia and everyone else in Japan?
Yeah, I was still living in Malaysia.
Okay, and so were you working remotely with the other girls?
Yeah, we were w working remotely, and then we couldn't meet in real life because all our team members were separated, and we were working online using like Zoom and stuff.
That's impressive. Okay. So all your meetings were remote or
Yeah.
on Zoom. To start off, I'd like to ask each of you what prompted your interest in SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, and the idea for your app or a pal.
Okay, so one of our teammates has a family member living with dementia, so we kind of wanted to find a way to address this challenge. And another teammate's relative teach in an origami class, and we discovered that practicing origami can help prevent cognitive decline. Inspired by these two experiences, we created the idea for Oracle, an app that blends the art of origami with dementia prevention. And
And
we got the idea for the conversation feature after watching a TEDx talk about age tech. In the talk, there was a video showing older adults like chatting with a simple robot and enjoying like a richer daily life. And seeing that made us realize how crucial conversation was for supporting seniors' well-being.
when you were starting the project, I imagine, you had this project in front of you. What parts of it were you excited about? And then what parts of it were you concerned about or worried about when you started?
What thrilled me most was the conversation feature. Watching our 3D avatar, Oliver, gradually become able to chat with us was really fascinating. The toughest part thought was the origami lesson feature. We built it with 3D animation and creating the complex motion to show each individual fold proved very challenging.
So like for our whole team, the most fun part, exciting part was the conversation feature because it allows people to actually converse with an AI avatar. That was challenging. However, when you actually like make it and finish it, it's so fun. And then we have that feeling where we're really happy that we could achieve that goal. And the toughest part was probably the origami part because we had to check with every single mentor and then we had no idea how to correct some errors. The 3D animation on the app, it was
Oh,
made
the
through
animation.
Blender and then imported to Unity where we made our app. So it was kind of tough.
So you just mentioned mentors. How many mentors did you have?
So we had like three or four mentors who supported us, and we're really grateful for them.
And how was that interaction? You mentioned earlier that you worked completely remotely as a
Yeah.
team. And were all your, I assume, mentors the same, right? You worked with them remotely?
Yeah, even if the mentors and my teammates are in Japan, we couldn't really meet like often because we were really separated even inside the country. And so we just used online technology to actually converse with our team.
You mentioned Blender and you mentioned Unity. So those
Yeah.
were a couple of the technologies you used to build this. That's something different for Technovation girls. So number one, how did you distribute the work? Maybe somebody worked on Blender, another person maybe on the coding of Unity, but how did you split that up? And also, how did you learn what you needed to learn in
So
order to complete the app?
so for the distribution, we were first thinking whether we should do it in App Inventor, like more usually, more often, like a common way. However, when we decided that the 3D animation will be done in Blender, we decided to just use Unity because it's way easier to import the animation. And as for Unity, Akari here had an experience using it. We gave the task to her, and for Blender, I had experience using it too, so we split the job there. And for the conversation part, the avatar was made with Blender too. So we split that part into avatar, the origami part, and the actual app that just combines it all. And for the learning part, we first learned Unity from a book when Akari was in elementary school, but it was really difficult. And later on, by studying in an online programming class with guidance from instructors, she gradually began to understand it. And for learning about Blender, I used the book too, but then the book was really confusing. We couldn't see how to use that software, so I just decided to watch YouTube and learn it.
So YouTube and books were what you used to help learn. Were the mentors helpful at all with helping you learn?
So we learn by ourselves, and then if there's an error that we can't solve or something that we can't understand through videos, then we ask our mentors because they're way more experienced in these technical stuff.
I'm wondering if from the beginning to the end, you mentioned you decided to add the conversation piece and the video piece. How did things change from when you first envisioned the app until the end? Did things change over time or evolve?
Acting on the advice that if it had voice control, users could operate it while folding origami and find it clear to use. We implemented a voice control feature.
So you don't need to interact with your hands at all, which makes sense if you're doing origami. Perfect sense.
Yeah.
As far as testing, were you able to test your app with any users as you were developing the app?
Yes, so we had participants use the app in origami classes and workshops. We mentioned before this and in one question that one of our relatives is a teacher from an origami class. That's my grandma. So we had participants use the app in her class, and feedbacks included comments like the design is simple and easy to understand. It really makes me want to do origami. And explaining the app clearly was challenging at first, since they're elderly, they might not know how to use the app itself, so it was challenging, but after presenting it several times, I got the hang of it, and the whole process became a valuable learning experience for us.
As you continued, each time it got easier for you to explain how to use it and interact with the users. That's like teaching. I used to teach, and each time you teach, it gets easier and easier. If you were to continue working on the app, what would be like a next step? What would be something you might add to the app at this point?
Origami is a pastime beyond by children in Japan, while conversation is known to help prevent dementia. With Oripal, we hope to build a new feature that lets children and older adults connect naturally through origami. By fostering intergenerational communication, we aim not only to support seniors' physical and mental well-being, but also to deepen children's sense of empathy and appreciation for Japanese traditional culture.
That's a great idea. So to bring young people onto the app, and then also that would add some interaction with young people and old people. I love that idea.
So this app is made for elderly people and preventing dementia. So if we keep continue like developing it, we would probably enhance the app itself. Like the voice control, it's sometimes doesn't work like naturally. So maybe enhance that part and increase the amount of origami lessons, like from the 3D on origami lessons. We would also like to maybe add social media kind of function where they can share stuff that they made. And also we would probably add like a new feature, introduce a new feature so that more users will have fun using the app and more users will like continue using the app because even if you use it once or twice, we want users to continue using the app. So we probably introduce a new feature that will keep the users, allowing the users to use them more.
Yes, that should be the goal of any app, I think, is to get people to continue to use it, right? We want them to enjoy it and then have it actually be useful. And if you were to continue or potentially even publish the app, what impact do you think this would have on your community?
As for the
Sure.
impacts, I think it will have a more positive, rather than negative, a more positive impact since the amount of dementia patients will decrease.
Just a final question to each of you is, you've been very successful with your app. It's a very innovative and advanced app, I'd say, for Technovation. What advice would you give to other Technovation girls who are interested either in SDG 3, good health and well-being, or in general, just from your experience? What would your advice be to other girls for Technovation?
This is my fourth year competing in Technovation Girls, and each time I feel I'm leveling up and taking on bigger challenges. No matter the outcome, pressing always helps you grow. So I encourage everyone to keep challenging yourselves again and again.
You don't have to win like a prize. You don't have to get into the finals. You don't have to get into the semifinals. Just challenging yourself and completing 1 year of Technovation Girls is challenging since most people of our age has schoolwork and some other things that we need to do or want to do. Just having like a goal and completing it through months of work, especially creating an app by yourself or with a team, is really hard. And just completing it is okay. It's really, really a big goal. And you feel happy, you feel proud of yourself for completing it when you click the submit button. It doesn't have to be completed, it can be on your way. And as Akari said, no matter the outcome, persisting always helps you grow. So I strongly recommend to participate in the Technovation Girls since it'll be a good growth for you and also it will enhance key skills like collaboration and critical thinking. Thank you.
That's great advice from both of you. Thank you both so much for sharing your knowledge and your experience with creating your app. We really appreciate it. And hopefully, other Technovation girls will be inspired by what you've done to create something that can help their community.